So this will be our first flight with the new throttle, projectors all done, and a new calibration done on the projectors. Still got to adjust the contrast, it's still a little bit too light, so I'll adjust them very shortly, but we're just about to get underway and start everything up. So we'll go to the next video. Started 2 CDUs, the throttle's running, and all of the screens on the MIP are running. So now I'm going to go through and start all the 3 screens and get ProSim and Flight Sim running on them, and then we'll go through a startup procedure. Okay, on to stage 3, we now have the overheads all running, our left channel running, right channel running, and we're about to start up everything on Big Huey, and we'll go through a startup. Alright, so things are pretty good. I've got all 3 started up now. We're ready to go through our start procedures, so let's do it. Fuel pump and APU to start. And this is a waterfall flow. And we've got a bleed going on there. Okay, our APU's online. So we are sitting on the tarmac here in Sydney, and there's the NIG system there. So we're going to configure ourselves for a flight to Sydney. So as you can see, all systems are up and operational at the moment, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. This will be a full test. We'll put all our fuel pumps on. We're going to configure with a light load. Not sure about passengers, how many we're going to have on. We might just leave it as is. And I'm going to have no fuel in the center tank, so I'll just change that now while we're here. Go in here, change the weight, so we've got 3,900 in the left tank, 3,900, I'll just round them off actually, 3,900 in the left tank, 3,900 in the right tank, and I don't want anything in the center. And that's about right. So we've got a bit of cargo and a few passengers, so that looks good. Come back to our menu and you can see now we've got a total of 7.8 tons of fuel on board. So I'm going to, now that we've got our APU running and we're in the ready position, I'm going to go through and set up the CDU. So we go ident. Positional is YSSY. This is also Fly Tampa's Sydney, so you'll see it's really beautiful out there. Set our position so the IRS is right, Sydney, and we'll be going to YMML, Melbourne. And our flight number is 856 OZ 856, standing for OzSim, and execute that. And performance, 54 tons of fuel for our zero fuel weight, 0.8 for our reserves. Cost index, we're going to run a low cost index today, see how we go with the throttle, so I'm going to run about a 30 cost index. Now our flight is not a big one, but I'm going to put in 35,000 feet for cruise altitude, and our outside the air temperature, I'm going to make it 25 degrees because it's fairly warm out there. Takeoff, we want 5 degrees of flaps. Center of gravity is 24.2, just off the top of my head. Now let's go to a departure. So we want to depart off 34 left, which is my favourite out of Sydney. And our arrival into Melbourne will be the opposite of 16, which will be runway 34, is that right? Yes, that's right, runway 34. So we'll be doing an RNAV into 34. And I'm pretty sure we've got an RB approach for that, so that looks all good. We'll go through and just have a quick look at our legs. So I didn't select a SID for 34 left. We'll just select a rough one to start with, and we'll say AB 3. I'm not sure how that takes us out, but we'll find out. So let's go back to our legs. Everything looks all right there. Down to here we've got a disco at RB, so we'll correct that, and then another one here at Nexum, so we'll correct that, and then we're all the way through to the runway. So that's all good. As soon as our CDUs come on, our IRS comes online, we'll check that through. And okay, so that's all good. Go back to here, our takeoff. So we'll set in 133, 134 for V1 and 142 for V2. So we'll now come up to here and select 142. Our heading will be off runway 34, so that'll be 340. I think it's 340. And our altitude is 35,000. We're not going to worry about ATC today, so 35,000. I'll set that up. And we want. Doesn't look like my earpieces are working. Great start. Okay, so also anti-skid on. So that's all looking pretty good at the moment. So yep, as soon as our IRSs come online, we can do a pushback and ready to go. I noticed down here before, see there's a couple of pilots. Oh, there's a pilot there. Or is that a couple of pilots? I think it's a woman and a male pilot. Yeah, they must be waiting for that Virgin bird there. Anyway, I'll come back in a couple of minutes after we've aligned and ready for pushback. Everything's good to go. We've got IRSs up. I'm just going to go to the menu and give us a pushback. So ground services, we want a straight pushback. So and we are heading out. So we'll go through and I'll have a engine 2 to start. So we'll watch it spool up. And we're waiting for it to get to 25% or max motoring. So I'm going to go at 25%. So we're pretty close, 25. There you are. Give it the fuel. And we'll see the engine boot into life. A little bit of stuttering happening there on the. There's those two pilots standing there too. We've got a fair bit of traffic out here to the left, so we'll just stop that pushback now. Holy smokes, we've got a couple of Rexies sitting behind one another. This is really chaotic. So we've got a good start on engine 2. Let's go to engine 1. And again, we're into on engine 1. Just watch it. And we want to, I'm going to select fuel at 25% this time. See if I can get it right. 23, 4, there we go, 25, give it the gas. And you can see the N1 climbing. We'll very shortly have a turn off. There we go. So we should have 2 engines running. So let's just check our config. Alright, so let's have 5 degrees of flaps on the throttle, and we might as well go through a checklist, something different. Let's have a bit of light, and before start, before push, before taxi. So we want electrical. Okay, our electrical's good, your damper's on, APU off, landing lights on, taxi light on, engines to continuous. 450 is our landing altitude, and our 35,000 for our flight altitude. APU's off. And our trim air. So that's all looking pretty good, how it should be. And CDU is all configured. MCP is right to go, fully set. 1013 is our QNH. Yep, so that's looking good. So let's go back to this. Electrical's good, probe heat's on, anti-ice is not required. Our start switches are continuous. Our flight controls, we've already checked them, they're all free and ready to go. Start levers are in the idle position, and our flaps are 5 degrees and green light. So I know I shouldn't do this now, but I will. I'm going to turn on my TARE. So our TCAS is operational. So let's get some taxiing happening. Now I already see there's a problem with the graphics, which I'm still working on. So I'll turn this lighting down a bit. It's a little bit jerky. It's a bit bumpy there. This is the added special effects that you get. There's a nice bit of water on the runway there. We're actually taxiing a little bit fast. We're up to 21 knots and we should only be 11, 22. See where we're heading. On screen. What's this guy doing over here? Now, we'll have a look at our traffic here on the highway. You can see on the overpass. Oh, we missed it on that side. And here comes a big bird coming in. Was it A380 or a 747? Oh geez, look at that. There's a 7.3 just landed, and this bozo's what is it? Oh, it's a 330 or a 340, I think. See, I've still got a little bit of work to do on my blending there. Well, it's getting there. I'm happy enough to be flying it anyway. Okay, we'll let the hosties know we're ready to take off. Ding dong! And there's no Avon calling. Okay, coming around on the 6 left here. There was a bird on the strip. I should have seen that. Okay, we're all configured up, ready to go. We'll just wait till he gets above us. Alright, we're good to go. So bring those throttles up to about 40%. And toga. Look how smooth that is, isn't that beautiful? And 80 knots and V1 rotate. Ooh, that was a bit of a sharp takeoff. And positive climb, gear up. V-nav, L-nav, and we're not on the profile, so we're not going to get command. Flaps 1. And flaps up. TO off. Still in a pretty steady sort of climb here. So we've just gone through our 10,000 transition. Having a lot of trouble getting the AP to engage.